Today I'm reviewing a 1999 Dodge Durango. The Durango was first introduced to market in 1998 and it's now in its third generation. This first generation model ran through the 2003 model year and was built on the same platform as the Dodge Dakota pickup. Not only did the two vehicles share the same platforms, but from a styling standpoint, they were nearly identical, obviously this being an SUV and the Dakota being a pickup. Inside you get virtually the same interiors, and then we also get the same powertrain options between the two models. Now, without a doubt, my favorite thing about this generation of the Durango is the styling. It's got a really old school, rugged, truck-like look to it. As much as current generations of the Durango look very good, I really like the more truck-like look that you get with this generation. And for a vehicle that was first introduced in 1998, we're getting up there to 22 years on the market, still looks very good. It's got a very timeless look to it. I think it already has a little bit of a classic status to it, and I think it's going to continue to maintain that going forward. Now, another cool thing about this generation of the Durango that we again get in the second and third as well is that it's got a third row seat allowing for seating capacity up to 7. Now, if you go back to 1998 and you look at the SUVs on the market with seating capacity for 7, you're pretty much stuck with a full-size SUV like the Ford Expedition, the Chevy Tahoe, or Chevy Suburban. Not a lot of options that were smaller like this. So a really cool feature to be able to get a smaller SUV with seating capacity for 7, and it's got an available V8, so it's got pretty good tow capacity as well. Now, on that styling front, it's got kind of a typical Dodge front end for this era, a little bit like we see in the Dodge Ram pickup. Up here at the front, we've got the crisscross grille, step down fender to the headlights, obviously not as dramatic as what you get in the Ram, but it is mimicking that look a little bit. You'll see this one's showing its age a little bit. We've got the dent in the bumper. One of our fog lights is missing, but you'll see we still have one on the passenger side. Another design cue I really like on the Durango is that on the hood here, we've got kind of this cutout in the hood. Looks like the wind just kind of carved it into the top of the hood. Nice little detail. And then side profile of the Durango is really nice as well. Again, this is where it's really got that very bold, rugged, truck-like look to it. Not only because of the step-down fender here, giving it kind of this aggressive stance, but at the back of the vehicle, you'll see that likewise, the body drops down and then right here kind of flares out, again, giving it that muscular look. And then we've got the fender flares at the front and back that are also helping with that. You'll see that likewise, rocker panels kind of flaring out. So just some really nice subtle cues that give it a very truck-like look. Now, the other thing that I love about the Durango is this available wheel package. They've got a few different options available on the Durango. This is the set that you want, unless you go with the all-wheel drive performance variant called the RT. Those wheels look pretty good as well. I'll put a photo up so you can check them out. But compared to the stock wheels on the Durango, these ones give it a much more truck-like appearance. We also get a larger set of tires with this wheel package, and that helps a lot. This Durango is currently sitting on a set of Goodyear Wrangler Duratracs in a 31 by 10.5, and then obviously it's an R15 because of the rim size. It's got a really nice aggressive look to it. You'll see up top that we've got integrated side rails and crossbars. It's pretty handy for attaching those rack attachments, get your bike or kayak or whatever up there. And then coming around to the back, nice clean look here as well. Pretty simple overall design. And then down below, we've got our trailer hitch. So as you can see, a really great looking vehicle. As I mentioned before, for a vehicle that came out 22 years ago, continues to look really good today. I think this will definitely be a classic going forward. Looking inside the Durango, you'll see it's got a pretty nice clean overall layout. This specific vehicle is the top of the line SLT trim package. With that, we get leather seating surfaces. So you've got the Dodge emblem on the seat backs and a few other additional luxury features. We have power windows, power door locks, power mirrors. Doors have some storage integrated on both the driver and passenger side. Driver's seat here is partially powered. Steering wheel has controls for cruise control. Instrument cluster's got a tachometer and speedometer. Climate control with heat and air conditioning. Audio system which has AM/FM radio, CD player, and cassette. power washer for the rear window, heated rear window. We've got a 12-volt outlet, cigarette lighter, and ashtray. Four-wheel drive shifter with a 4 low and high option. A few cup holders, and our center console with coin storage. Up above, we've got this little LCD screen, which gives us compass, temperature, and fuel economy information. Reading lights, sunglasses holder, and then for garage door opener. Looking into this middle row, you'll see it's fairly spacious here. Center seat does fold down into an armrest with 2 cup holders. Got 2 vents here to get heat and air to the rear, as well as 2 cup holders and vent control. We've also got climate control up here on the headliner and some vents. Now to access our 3rd row seat, we'll pull on this lever here one time to drop down the seat back. And then you'll see we've also got these little red tabs here in the back. So seats can be lifted up from the outside or from the 3rd row seat. And you'll see in the back we've got seating for 2 more. Not incredibly spacious, but not all that bad either. I'm 5'10" and I will fit in a pinch. Cup holder and a little more storage space there. Likewise on this side. Coming around to the back, you'll see when the 3rd row seat is in use, it's a little bit tight back here in terms of cargo space. But you're going to see the same thing in the Ford Expedition and Chevy Tahoe. So it's really not that terrible. And the seat can be folded down to increase cargo space. So we've got a little storage down below here and a 12-volt outlet on that passenger side. Now to fold down that 3rd row seat, it's a little tricky to do from the rear. So we'll come up here to do that. Pull this up and then pull it forward like that. And we can drop this down and pull that down to set that flat. So pretty easy to do, but again, tricky to do from the back of the vehicle. And you can see with that down, cargo space is very good. The first generation of the Durango was available in rear-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, or all-wheel drive with that RT package. Early years of the Durango gave you the choice of 3 different engine options. The base engine being a 3.9 liter V6 with 175 horsepower. That engine was only available on rear-wheel drive models. It's on EPA rating of 13 miles per gallon in the city and 16 miles per gallon on the highway. This Durango's got the 5.2 liter V8, which sees a bump to 230 horsepower. That's good for a max tow capacity of 4,100 pounds and a 0-60 time of 9.8 seconds. It sees an EPA rating of 12 miles per gallon in the city and 16 miles per gallon on the highway. Now the Durango is also available with a more powerful 5.9 liter V8, which sees a bump to 250 horsepower. That increases max tow capacity to 7,500 pounds, drops that 0-60 time to 8.2 seconds. EPA rating on that model is 11 miles per gallon in the city and 16 miles per gallon on the highway. Now 2000 and newer models of the Durango were also available with a 4.7 liter V8, which eventually replaced this 5.2. It's the same 4.7 V8 that you get in the Jeep Grand Cherokee. It has a slight increase in horsepower over this engine to 235, maintaining the same EPA rating of 12 miles per gallon in the city and 16 miles per gallon on the highway. Well, it's pretty easy to find faults in a 21-year-old vehicle because cars have come a long way in the last 21 years. But putting that aside, it really is a pretty nice vehicle all around. I mean, given the fact that it is older and it's getting up there in mileage, it's still a pretty nice vehicle to drive. It's pretty comfortable, it's pretty smooth, pretty powerful. You know, steering feel's got a little bit of a play in it. When you're really accelerating hard on the throttle, the transmission lags a little bit to keep up with you. And then the fuel economy is obviously very bad as well. So there are definitely some downsides with this being an older vehicle, but given what it is and the other vehicles that were out there at this time, I really think it's a very nice option within its segment for the time. You know, I love the fact that it's smaller than what you get with the Expedition, the Tahoe, and the Suburban. You know, if you want something that's a little bit smaller, easier to drive in the city, easier to park, lot of advantages to this being a smaller vehicle, yet at the same time, it's got that max tow capacity of 7,500 pounds. So you're not really compromising all that much in terms of power or capability. It's just overall space within the cabin, and the trade-off being the fact that it is a lot easier to drive in tighter environments. Now, I will say that my biggest complaint about the Durango is the fuel economy. This one, actually, we'll take a look at the numbers up here, currently averaging 11.2 miles per gallon. This doesn't even have that 5.9 liter V8. So 11 miles per gallon, that's probably as bad or worse than what you're going to see in that Expedition or Tahoe. So while you're saving in size, you're not necessarily saving in fuel economy, but when it comes to power, it does have quite a bit in that department too. So, there are some compromises with the Durango, but it also has some advantages because of its smaller size. All right, we'll do a quick acceleration test here onto the highway. See that transmission really lagging to keep up. So just hit 45. So you can see it's a little bit on the slow end. And that's 60. So not ultra powerful, especially for that fuel economy. But again, 21-year-old vehicle, so the bar's a little bit lower. So that's the first generation model of the Dodge Durango. Really a great SUV all around. I love the classic good looks that we get on the exterior. Likewise inside, it's very nice for a 20-year-old vehicle. Really my only complaint is the gas mileage is pretty bad, but that's pretty typical for SUVs from this era. If you're looking to get into an older SUV with seating capacity for 7 and you don't want something larger like the Ford Expedition or the Chevy Suburban, the Durango might be a really good alternative. If you have any comments or questions on the Durango, leave them in the section below. For more car reviews, be sure to subscribe. In the meantime, thanks for watching.